Hey everyone. So Amit and I have been conversing a lot about many things, futures, decentralization, and whatnot. And we'll dedicate today's conversation on how it all started. So Amit, how did you come up with this idea and how it all began? The entire concept of shop type, Awake, and the entire ecosystem.
Um, as they say sometimes when people ask how long did it take to, get this going or whatever, the answer is all my life, right? Because it's a synthesis of everything that's happened so far. It's connecting all the dots that one, encounters that leads us to seeing beyond just those dots, right? Like what's coming next. Once you're able to
Yeah,
really connect everything that's happened. And in a lot of ways everything does connect. You have to
yeah,
be open to it, and you have to
yeah,
be able to see um, almost without seeing, because
yeah. Mm,
it's the universe that actually connects everything together. So one of the principles we rely upon
mm,
in Awake, if you look at the core pillars upon which it's built, one of them is called nature. It's built
yeah,
on nature. It's built
mm,
on the nature of things and the nature of nature. I mean, what is nature? Nature is itself the guiding and intelligence principle
mm,
that you can rely upon to exist.
yeah,
If the intelligence did not exist, then artificial intelligence has no meaning,
yeah. Mm,
right? So you can rely upon their existing intelligence.
mm,
And to realize that this type of intelligence, the natural intelligence,
mm,
is actually what is everywhere. All people and
mm.
things, and they all have intelligence. If they don't have intelligence, you would not be able to perceive them,
Yeah.
in your existence.
Mm,
So there is a common intelligence which we have rediscovered,
yeah.
because it's not
Yeah.
normally, uh, one is not conscious of it. One is not aware
Yeah.
of it usually.
Mm,
One does not, explicitly talk about it because it's a given. It is the only thing that is everywhere, and
yeah.
therefore no one really sees it. We don't
Mm,
realize that we are walking on the ground.
yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Definitely. Exactly.
So once you recognize
Mm,
your own nature, then everything is clear, because when you don't know what you are, you're basing your view
mm.
on that ignorance,
Yes.
right? Because you can only
Exactly.
relate to
Mm,
the world based on what you are, right?
yeah.
The world is not you. You and the
Mm,
world are two different things. So not understanding the self, or the one who is examining the world, gives you a picture of the world through the
yeah.
biased lens
Mm,
of ignorance,
yeah.
of not knowing what you really are. So
Yeah.
basically, what do you get? If I build a platform on top
Mm,
of shifting sands, it will fall.
yeah.
It will
Yeah.
collapse.
Yeah.
There is no reality,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
that type of a build. It's
Yeah.
ephemeral and
Mm,
only transactional and temporary, because it might make sense for a while, but it really doesn't make long-term sense. Lots and lots of companies and businesses have come and gone.
mm.
Nothing is permanent or survives for a very long time. you know
Yeah.
so how
True.
do we
That's true.
build?
Mm.
Sorry.
So, just saying that's true, and I was just wondering that seeing it now feels like things are natural, things are the way that should be, but realizing it might have taken a lot, might have taken a long journey. It might have taken a lot of epiphanies, lot of different tipping points which would have shown that, okay, this is something which is beyond what is there in front of your eyes. So like with Awake and ShopType, what was that tipping point, or what was that thing or that phase where it all started to begin taking a shape, a form, like started to begin taking a concrete idea?
I would say, after I did Runa, and then I did Quintype, and I did my first blockchain project, which was bad timing. The first crash happened in 2017, and I had been. I mean, this is one of those things, right? This, you can call it a tipping point, or you can call it, but it has no meaning without the rest of the points before it. Right?
Yeah,
because it's a
course,
tipping point only with respect to all the other points that have already happened. Right. So it's not by any means its own special thing. But I did discover people that were working in the blockchain and crypto industries at that time, and even now very much so. Lots and lots and lots and lots of people are just not high quality in terms of values. They're just in it to make a buck. You need money. Everybody needs money to live and to survive and to invest, to build things. But there's a greed element which does not have anything to do with these things. So that I discovered that was what was really driving all that initial activity very, very largely. Out of the 100% of noise that was there, sound or noise, whatever you want to call it, only 1 or 2% was quality, real projects that had, real sort of ambition to really make a difference and change the world and this and that. The rest was just, nothing new here. Everyone wants to make a buck, no values whatsoever, and I got very depressed with the kind of scammers that I met, and, lots of that type of stuff happened. And, then I figured, oh, this is the reason why this can never be an unregulated universe. This is outright scam central, because, hey, you have a blind marketplace. I mean, what incentive is there to, to act normally when, you can have so-called trust, but the identity is not verified. What is the use of trusting unverified identities? What does that even mean, right?
Exactly.
It has no meaning.
It has no meaning. It's all scams and
total scam. So
total scam.
That I figured was a problem. I said, oh, what I should do? I should actually take my business to regulated territory. Instead of doing this whole blockchain ICO nonsense with basically people who are scammers, why not take good projects to regulated people, because ultimately that's where we're headed. Even now you can see regulations are finally coming. It's going to take it took a while. But what I discovered then was that Wall Street, which is the biggest American capitalism and the regulated territory of capitalism, the most preferred destination to do business and everything else, had a good regulatory system, which is mainly a legalized way of scamming everybody. There's nothing, just because you're regulated doesn't mean you cannot scam people. As you can see in businesses, left, right, and center, right? And this is much more easily done in DeFi and all these things, because you're talking about money and you're promising people money, and it's just a total shit show. And to see that even the so-called bastion of democracy and capitalism was basically a shit show of really low quality shills and these make a buck here and there, and it's just that's what Wall Street is. How do I make a buck here and there, right? Like, that's their innovation. So that was quite the turning point. And how do we build for a better type of a capital market, and a better type of innovation market, and a better type of entrepreneurial market, and a better type of meritocratic market was a key thing. I mean, it's like founders get ripped off left, right, and center all day long.
Exactly.
Right? So the reason for that is founders and entrepreneurs are optimists.
That happens. That actually happens, and I think it's part of every founder's journey. Be it the first-time founder, at least with the first-time founders, it definitely will happen to you because you are an optimist. Yeah, it happens to almost everybody during your entrepreneurial journey, and to actually identify that this was an issue, and like we should head towards a more regulated space, more open, where people are actually they can trust whom they are working with, and make things better, for like make a win-win situation. If you make money, then only the other person make money. It's not like you make a buck here and then that's from somebody else's pocket. It's like
and
you're
upfront
making
with
money,
no
that's
guarantees.
why.
Yeah. Pay upfront, no guarantees, asymmetric information, all that stuff, whether it's the platform economy out there that's doing that to normal people, or it's so-called Wall Street that's doing it to normal businesses and people, or it's like the so-called investors doing it to it's just a nonsensical power play, right? It's based on an economic model that's fundamentally flawed. And what is that economic model that's fundamentally flawed? Economics is fundamentally flawed. Economics is a study of incentives, which is fine, and a study of scarcity, as it says, which is because there is limited supply and demand, and it derives everything. This is the basic premise of economics, which is fundamentally wrong, because it's not a zero-sum game. It's not limited. It's not a scarcity game.
We're talking about abundance here.
Fundamentally different.
Yeah.
Fundamentally abandoning the old model because it's fundamentally wrong. I don't know how many times I said fundamentally. I hope you kind of caught the drift, right? But it's wrong. So therefore, how can I, who have seen the truth about it, continue to exist without building something that's, more natural, more matches the reality of the universe, which is that the ideas and intelligence are primary.
Yeah.
It is not the other way around. Money is created through intelligence.
Yeah, definitely.
And through value exchange, which is driven by intelligence, which is why data is money and all that stuff. But data is just a limited form of intelligence. It is a limitation. If you know XYZ, that's your intelligence. If I don't know XYZ, my intelligence is unlimited. I'm not restricted by concepts of X, Y, and Z, although I can intelligently reason about it when they appear, because I'm intelligent. So to remain as intelligence is the separation of, data and the reality.
Yeah.
We don't need to get concerned about these platform companies and so on. We need to realize that they are after intelligence. They're actually dead and inert systems that are just atoms and, bits and bytes, and have no intelligence of their own. Intelligence is provided by the human user. And we are aware now and awake enough to simply connect back together as a human race and directly trade with each other like we'd always meant to do, and use all the platforms and blockchains just as they were meant for, which is platforms and blockchains.
Yeah.
Not highway
Treat
robbery.
It as what they are. Yeah, exactly. Treat them as what they are.
Become clear about the utility of all things, but not confuse the intelligence principle.
Yeah.
And so this is the truth for everybody. If you can create a system that bootstraps you into this, it's over.
Yeah. That's true. And to every entrepreneur out there, you have to be wary, you have to be aware and awake enough to understand, and it might come with time. It's not always that the first try or the first thought you get will be, you'll have clarity, but of course it will get developed and you'll have more clarity over time. You understand systems, you understand how things work, and that's why I wanted to touch upon this today, that as an entrepreneur, a journey matters, and you can always learn from somebody else's journey. That's a very helpful insight for everybody. Thanks, Sumit. Thanks so much for sharing such a wonderful thoughts and ideas.